Yesterday, we just connected to different databases, Excel, Access, Oracle. Okay. Now let us define the target, the DS Studio. So target means location where you want to define your warehouse. Okay. So I'm selecting the same Israel location, then create one folder. Okay. Let's make it as a target, or else already the target is there. So I'm just deleting that target, or else you can define the same target location for our target. Okay. So I'm deleting the objects present in the target. Now let us define this location as our target location. So to define the location, we have to define a library. That is mandatory, right? So go to the folders. Then we have uh, one folder called the target. Okay, or you just rename it as target tables. Target tables. Then you have to register a library. So better you register here. So for example, I mean, we created a library in some other location. Let us assume. Then we can move it. Okay, we have that option. See like this. Okay, you can move, copy to the folder, or you can move to the one folder to another folder. The method object you can move. Okay, so I'm creating the library here. Let me will move it. New library I'm creating. So which library you want to create? So that depends on your interest. How you are, I mean, the targeted data should look like. Okay. So connecting means source we define like a different locations, different databases we define the source. But how you want your warehouse, I mean, in which database form it should be. Usually what happens as we are using the SAS DI Studio, so people, I mean, will be storing the data in the form of the SAS data sets only. Okay. Or else you're working for a company where the data is coming in Oracle and they are storing even the warehouse also in the form of the Oracle. Then we have to define the Oracle libraries and store the data. I mean, after transformations, then load the data again into the Oracle. So we have to define the Oracle location as a target. Okay, then load the data from source to the target using Oracle libraries only. But here I'm selecting the basis library as a target. Then target library is my name, the target location name. I mean target library name. Then select server. Then give it as some name, target. Okay. Then what is the location? We have to define a new location. New browse S drive target. So this is a folder. Target. Okay. Yeah. It's a different location for the target. Next. Finish. So we created a library. So we can move it. Simply just move like this. So it came into the target. You can move like this, or else you just select move to the folder. So which folder you want to move, you can select. So metadata object you can move from one folder to other folder here. Okay. Yeah. Then we created a library. But in this library, I don't have any data set to define, right? So now we should generate the warehouse. So how to generate the warehouse? By doing different types of the transformations. Right? So do we define the target? So this task we finished. Then later, uh, loading the target from sources by transformation or by jobs. Okay. Now we are loading the data from sources to target location. Okay. 1 second, please. I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's load the data from source to target by doing different transformations. So we have a list of transformations here. Okay. There is a tab transformation. We have like access, analysis, then change data capture, control. Then we have data related transformations, data quality related transformations. Okay, and SPD server transformation, and we can create our own transformations also, like user created or user generated transformations also we can generate. Okay, so these transformations will be used based on the uh, like requirement. Okay, sometimes we may need multiple transformations for one job, or sometimes we may need the same transformation multiple times also, right? So we cannot decide like which transformation is needed for this particular type of job. So based on the task, then we'll be using multiple transformations. Okay, so first I will show you how, I mean, what is the use of each transformation. Then after that, when we are working on a project, then that time you will understand like which transformation is suitable for which type of job. Okay, so now I'm just simply showing you the append transformation. Append. So any transformation, I mean, the same principle, right? It works, I mean, with the same steps we have. So for example, here I want to create a job. So select the job, new job, new job. So we should name a job. For example, append job, or you can give any name, append job. Then it creates a window, or we also call it as a transformation wizard. So in this, we have to build the trees. So for example, what do you want to append? I want to append two data sets, okay, so which are present in the source table. I have these two tables, Seattle and Portland. Let's open the Portland, view the data, how it is. We have origin, destination, flight number, flight price. Okay, four variables we have. Then open this Seattle also. In the Seattle also, we have the same four variables: origin, destination, flight number, flight price. So this is the Portland information and this is the Seattle information. Now we want to append these two. Just like in the base as, we have to append, but no need to write the code here, right? So let's append these two. And after appending, where you want to load these? So we should create one more table. The empty table we should create. Okay. In the empty table, what variables you want to keep? So you have to build a variable, I mean data set, and in the data set, you should define all the empty variables, okay, and the properties to those variables. You have to define, and later load the data from these two tables into the target table. Okay, let's create one table which is an empty by defining the variables and their properties in the target location. So what is our target location? It is the target location right here. So we already defined a library for this one. So where is that library? Here it in the libraries, right? Now let's create a table in the target tables location only. So simply right click, new table. I'm creating a new table now. So what is the table? Uh, let's give it a C port. Means it contains the Seattle information as well as the Portland information. Then next, where you want to save this, it is in the target library. Okay. Then go to the next. Which variables you want to keep? You can select the variables from these two, Portland and Seattle, or else you can enter manually also. I mean, every time we will use a different method. Okay. So here in the sales project, already the source tables are there, Portland. So I selected all these four variables. Then click on next. You check the attributes. Origin, flight number, destination, these three are character, and flight price is only the numeric one. And it is also having a dollar format, dollar 9.2 format, right? So just to verify the formats and all the attributes to the uh, all the variables. If everything is fine, then go to the next. Then if you want, you can check the metadata once again, like which repository you are working, then what is the folder, target tables, then cport, target library, how many columns are there, Okay, so you can define everything and what is the source and what is the target. See, column origin, okay, then column type C, column length. So it is giving the attributes for each and every column: origin, destination, flight number, and flight price. Then click on finish. So we created a table in the target location, but it's an empty one only. See, seaport, right click, and you just try to open it. So it is giving an error occurred while fetching the data because there is no data, right? But variables have been defined. But you can check the variable attributes also here. Right click and go to the properties. You can check the columns. Okay, so we have all the column information. So we create an empty table. Now what should we do? Load the data from the Seattle and Portland into this target. So what are the source tables? Portland, then Seattle. Take these two. And where is your target table? This is my target table. Just drag it. Then we should load the data from source to the target. So directly we cannot load the data, okay? Because to load the data from table to table, we need a table loader, okay? The use of the table loader is to load the data from one table to other table, or one SAS data sets to other SAS data set. We need to use the table loader. So this is the table loader. If you want more information about the table loader, then simply click on this one and check the basic properties of the table loader. What it does. Okay. So here in the basic properties, click here, writes to SAS and DBMS datasets. So it will write. We should write, right? Because the content, the metadata, we should write from Portland to the Seattle. Right? So that's why we should use the table loader. Drag the table loader twice and connect like this. So the data from this table will be loaded into the seaport using the two transformation objects table loader. Just connect like this. See, here we are unable to load into the seaport, right? So though it is a table loader, we cannot connect directly. Okay, so what should we do? We should use a like transformation called the append, because we want to append the content from these two into this seaport. So we should use the append, right? So where is that append? Take this append transformation, put it here, you just delete it. Then actually here what we are doing, we are not loading, okay, the data from one table to another table. Okay, I mean here using the table loader we got the data and we are connecting to the append, right? So actually we don't need this table loader here. Why? Because
It's already in table.
To table we need the table loader. Okay, but here we don't need, right? So we are not loading the data from table to table. We are loading into one transformation, right? So I am deleting this two. Now just connect like this. Connect like this. So it's a problem with my mouse, it seems. Yeah. Now what happened? The data from these two source tables appended here, and that content will be loaded in this work table. Here you can see there is a table. So this is called default work table. Okay. What is the table name here? Portland. What is the table name? Seattle. What is this table name? It is a work table. So no physical location has been defined to this work table. Okay, and even no physical name also given to this work table. If you want, you can check the properties of this work table. Simply right click and go to the properties. Now it is append properties it is showing, right? Append properties it is showing. Okay, append properties it is showing, but we need the details of this work table. Okay, let's right click and register table. So we are planning to register this table. Okay. Now you can see here it is giving this name. This is a temporary table, W5T4KRI4. So it picks some dummy name. Okay. So it's taking this dummy name. Okay. Library has not been defined. If we define a library for this work table, then the work table will become a permanent table, right? So it will get stored in some location. But I don't want to make this work table as a permanent table. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to load the data from this work table into my target table, which already I created with the required variables. So this is a table. Work table also it's a table, and this is also a table. So table to table we can't load. So there is no option to load directly from table to table. So we need the table loader. We'll take the table loader and then connect like this. Then we load it. So here you just click here so that the alignment will be perfect. Okay. Or else you can, if you want, you can keep like this. And we have different ways. Okay. We call this as layout. How is the layout? Layout is left to right. Means the data we are loading from source to the target, it is in left to right. Or else you can change the layout also. Right to left you can do, or top to bottom you can do, or bottom to top you can do. Like you can choose any layout. Okay. Now, if you feel everything is correct, because once appended, actually we did not to make any changes in the append actually, right? So no need to make any changes here. Automatically you can see here the right marks are there. Okay. So I mean what these right marks indicates, that there is no error up to append, and there is no error in the loading the data from work table to the C port also. So there is no any error. Then you should simply run the job. Here we have the run option. Just click on it. Then it is showing no servers were associated with the library, target library. So no servers have been defined here. Okay. So why the servers are not defined? Maybe the SAS Connect service is not running. So that is an issue. Okay. No servers with the library. So what should we do? We should check whether the Connect library is working or not. SAS Connect. Go to the services. Now just refresh. SAS application server is not running actually. So SAS Connect server is also it's a part of the application server. Yeah. Now, yeah, we started the services. Okay. Then just simply run it. Okay. Let's save the job. I saved the job. Shared server also should start. Yeah. All the services are okay. Now let's close it and open it again. Okay. So folder, sales project, jobs. So append job. Just double click on it. Yes. Then simply run it. No servers with library, target library, configure for SAS Connect. Use management console to add the SAS Connect server component. One second. The target, the library already defined as target library. Should we do one thing? Let's check this target. Is your target, right? Seaport location equals to seaport only. So access to a target. I have given correct only. Okay. Yeah, now it's working. Okay. So complete successfully. Right? Completed successfully. So here, how many steps? What is the pre-code? Always, I mean, for any job, okay, it will give a pre-code. Okay. The second one is it will give the transformations like append we have done, later table loader, and then postcode. First pre-code, then after transformations, I mean after transformation objects, then it will give a postcode, and then this is the overall append job got completed successfully. Okay. Now we can view the content here in the C port. Right click and go to the open. Now we can see the content from the source of two tables got loaded into one table. Appended, right? Now you can check it in the target location also. It is there. Okay. Now you delete the transformation. Okay. You delete the source and you delete everything, but the data will be here because physically we loaded the data into one target location. Now you remove the source tables. No need. It will work. So you remove the source table and transformation also, no problem, because already we achieved the target, right? So actually, how this DA Studio works? Okay, how this DA Studio works? Simply, it will just generate the code. That's it. It won't execute actually. The code will be carried to the SAS environment only, right? There it will get executed. To check it, I will show you. See, click on the code. So this is a diagram. Click on the code. So it generated the code. It gives the complete information about the about your job. It will give the code because it generates the code actually. You can see here append job. So this is a repository name, localhost, then 8565. Where is your target location? I mean the metadata location, which server we are using, and this is server number. Okay. Then Portland, Seattle. These are the source tables. This is my target table. So when we created and who created this one and which version. So it gives you basic information, and then it generates the code. Okay. So this is the code. But basically, what is the code here? This one. Proc append or yeah. Usually, what happens for any data management purpose, it generates the code in SQL only. For data analysis, data access, okay, and for reporting purpose, it will use the SAS code. But for data management purpose, it generates the SQL code automatically. Now you can see proc SQL only it is using. Create view. Okay, which one? From Seattle. Okay, so it is taking the data from Seattle, and also yeah, data. This it created a work table and using the set. Okay, yeah, I think it is using a set, not the append. So it's adding the content from two tables. That's it. So this is the code. Okay, if you want, you can copy this code. Okay, entirely I'm copying the code. Okay, copy the code, or else you can save it directly here. Okay, generate code. Okay, so this is a code, and save this code. Yeah, this is saved. Click here. I'm saving the code on desktop with some append code. Okay, we saved the code. Now we just close the DS Studio. So we have this code with us, right? Then actually this is the SAS, right? Okay, now let's open the SAS. So it's append code dot SAS, right? Yeah. So just drag this. So this is the code. Just run it. So actually we haven't defined any source. We haven't defined any target. We haven't defined anything here. Now I'm running this code. That's it. You can see source, whatever the source location. So it is defining all the source. Then target is C4, right? So it is working. This code is working. Means in the backend, what happens? This DS Studio will just generate this code. That's it. Okay. This code will be carried to SAS environment. There it will get executed. Then after execution, it will automatically store the content in the target, and it will take from the source library. Got it? Yeah. So this is the this is what happens in the backend. Okay. Now this is the log. It is just like our normal base SAS log, and you can see the output also. Why you can't see the output? Because when you generate a report, it will show the output. Right? We choose to load the data into a target location, then it got loaded. So there is no use of this output. Okay. If you are making any frequency or something, if you want to see here in the output window, then you can see it in the output window. Okay. Otherwise, output window is empty. Right? Then status, we selected the status, and then coming to the warnings and errors. So no warnings or errors generated for the last run. If you run this one, if there is any error or if there is any warning, okay, or if there is any notes, then it will show here. Then statistics. Statistics means it is performance, how much time it took, how many records are there in the append 6 records. Okay, the table loader 14. Okay, then start time, end time, how long it took, what is the CP time, okay, system memory consumed, current IO, system IO, server, which server, then how many threads, like this. So it will give the information, the statistics, and you can save this information also. Okay, here just click on save. Okay, on the desktop, I'm just using append stats. Append stats. You can save this one and you can submit it to our actually this is a CSV, append.csv. Automatically it should give, but I don't know, it's not giving. Append stats. Open this. Yeah. So you can see, the same content, but you converted into one file. Okay. So this file you can save to check the performance, like how much time it is taking for this job. Later, control flow also you can see. So what is the control flow? So actually this control flow, we choose to organize the control flows actually. So what is the control flow here? How is the flow? The data from this Portland and Seattle should be appended. So this is the number 1. This is the first flow, append. Then the data from this append work table should be loaded into the table loader 2. So this is second flow. The flow is like this. It's the first one, and then this is the second one. Okay, and then it's loading into the target. But if you change the control flow sequence, see, for example, I change like this, then what happens? It will become 2, it will become 1. Okay, so 1 means, first of all, the 1 will run, right? So first what happens? This transformation will start, table loader. So how the table loader will start? Okay, if there is some data in the table, work table, then the table loader will start. So without loading the data from these two into the append, it's not possible to have the data in this work table, right? So this is a wrong control flow. So that's why here just to manage the control flows, we have it. But anyway, we'll be discussing this later in other transformations, okay? Because here we don't have, much transformations here. This way I'm using 2. So if we have multiple transformations, if we drag and build one tree in a zigzag manner, then we will be controlling the flows here using the control flow. Okay. So this is one job, append job. Okay. Later, let us see the second job then. So this we did. What is the second job? The second job is SQL joins. It is also the same one. If you want, you can skip it or else we can do it. No issues. We'll do this. coming to the SQL join. I have two source tables, tours and volcanoes. My target is tour volcano. And here I want to use the SQL join left join. Anyway, first of all, we have to prepare, right? You prepare your notes, because whenever you're creating a warehouse, so we'll be creating an architecture that is mandatory, right? After creating the architecture, then based on the architecture, you'll be using those. The planning will be there, right? For every target, how the data should come. First, we'll be building a planning, right? So that comes in the architecture. So architecture, that is a data warehousing architecture, right? So that we'll be discussing later. Okay. Uh, yeah, just this is to make you acquaint with the environment. That's it. Okay. Later we'll be discussing about the real tasks in the project. Let's see the SQL giants now. Routes and volcanoes I am defining. So I have one tours and volcanoes. Let's go through this. An error occurred while fetching the data tours. Why there is an error? Executive. Okay, Suresh was not found. Okay, actually the thing is, for these tours, for the tours, there is one format linked. The format is Suresh. Okay, so the format is not. You know about the formats in SAS, right? So this data is linked with some format called the Suresh. So as the SAS didn't find that Suresh user-defined format, it's unable to load the data, right? So let's find out to which variable the format Suresh is assigned. Okay. Close this one, right click, go to the properties, and check the columns. Yeah, here the Suresh is there. So the format is linked, right? So I should delete that format. Okay. None. Format is none. I remove the format. Then after removing the format, you try to open it. So, but we deleted here, right? But it's not making the changes in the data. The format is there in the data, right? So we cannot make the changes in the data from here, because from here we cannot make any changes to the data, right? So that's why we should go to the data location. There we need to make the changes. Okay. Okay, where is the Suresh? Is a different account. Let's try. What is the location of this file actually? Properties, physical storage in the source library means S drive EG codes only. Okay, so S drive EG codes. So the tours. So we should delete the format for this. You can do from here also, or else go to the SAS. Then define the library for this. Lib name, source, and it is a base SAS engine, right? Base SAS engine. Okay, submit it. So this is the source in this tools, right? Yeah, this is the tools. So we can't open this one also. See, we try it. Yeah, I think you know this one. So it's not open because of the format issue. So what should we do to open this? Options, no format error. No format error. So run it, then it will ignore the format errors. Now open it, it will work. So for this difficulty, there is a format actually. So right click, go to the properties, columns, this is the Suresh we have. So we should remove the format for this Suresh. How to remove the format? Data source dot tools, then set source dot tools format to which variable? Underscore difficulty, right? Or difficulty, simply run like this. So we are reformatting actually, giving nothing, submit. So what happens? It got reformatted so that the tools, format got deleted, right? So there is no format for this tools. Okay, let's close this. Then, then open it. You can view the data here. Yeah, there is no any problem here. You can view the data.
Okay.
So this is one tools information, and we want to join this volcanoes information also. So this is the volcano information. Here we have two informations. Okay, let me explain what these are. Actually, there is one like travel company. Okay, so usually they conduct the tours. Okay, so 10 tours they are conducting. Okay, one is like Kilimanjaro. It's in Nairobi. I mean, it departs from Nairobi. Means they will. They're conducting the tours to visit to different volcanoes. So Kilimanjaro is a volcano. Departs from Nairobi. It is 9 days tour program actually. So they are charging $1,260, and difficulty is some critical level or some complex, easy, moderate, and complex. So reaching there, it is bit difficult. Difficult level is C. And this is one information. So they are conducting 10 programs or 10 tours, or we can say 10 packages. And this is the about the volcanoes. I mean, somebody want to go to Kilimanjaro, then usually he will be interested to know about the volcano, right? So they are also providing this volcano table. So let us see this Kilimanjaro. It is in Tanzania. It's in Africa. The height of the volcano is 5895. So it is a stratovolcano. So activity is not mentioned here. Whether it is active volcano or extinct volcano, it's not mentioned. So stratovolcano. So actually the information of multiple volcanoes is there. Usually we don't need this one, right? So the 10 volcano informations are enough to add this table, to the tours, right? So let's make a target table which contains the information of volcanoes along with the tour. So make these two as a source and create one target table. So target table I am not creating. While loading also you can create the target table. Actually, in the last job, what we had done, we created a target table on our own here. But we can do like this also. Jobs, new job. Let's make it as a SQL left join, or you can give any other name. What are the source tables? And layout also you can change it. Okay, let in the next transformation or next job I will change the layout. Tools, volcanoes. So we have to, okay. Then what the transformation we needed? That is data related. So go to this data and select the SQL join and connect these two. Later, this is a work table, right? So you make this as a permanent table by registering this work table. Okay, so right click, register this table, give a name. Let's give it as some tour volcano, and where you want to save it, it's in the target location. It's in my target library, target tables. So we should define the target library name, right? What's the target library name? Target library. Then give a name, tour volcano, tour volcano, right? Then click on OK. Then we created a physical table, right? Now, then load the data. But we haven't defined, right, whether it is left join or right join. So simply double click on the SQL. Yeah, now here you can select SQL join, create tour volcano, select from tours volcanoes. So here we should define the join. Which join you want? Simply right click. It is a left join because the first table is tours, right? So we made the left join. Okay, you should make the changes here. Okay, then again go up, back. Then if you feel everything is okay, you can check the mapping also. Here, the data from these two should be loaded here in the tour volcano. The same variable should be there, right? Or simply right click, go to the map columns. Automatically columns got mapped, but you can check the mapped information also. Properties, then go to the options. It's not showing the mapping information actually here. So usually it will show the mapping information here in here. Join and selecting it. So right click. No. Automatic join condition used. Properties. Yeah, it is not showing any. Actually, that's not needed actually. Okay. Yeah, then we load it into the work table directly. So when you are loading the data into work table directly, no need to map actually. I will tell you like in the later transformation, I will tell the importance of the mapping here. Then simply just run it. Completed successfully. Okay. Then you check the code. Okay, if you want to debug, if there is any error, then you should debug the code and you should write your own code also. So that is pre-code, post-code, right? Not only the pre-code and post-code. Actually, this is the DS Studio generated code, right? But user written transformation or user written code will be available. See, user written body also. Okay, if you want to add something, then we can include your code also. Okay, for example, just now we removed a format, right? So if you don't have the access to the base size, then how will you remove the format then? Okay, so you have to write the user written code here instead of base size. Actually, what we have done, we opened the base size and we wrote some code and we deleted format, right? So instead of doing all these things in base size, we can even do in the DS Studio also using the user written body or user written code. Okay. Yeah, so done. Then you just save this one transformation and then go to the target location. You can find the tour volcano. If you want, you can see the information here in the target location. So, but we haven't defined in the target location actually. We saved that one, right? We saved that one, but while saving, we didn't bother about the location where it got saved. What is the name of that one? Tour volcano, right? We just created, but at the time of creating, I forgot to define the the metadata location. So it got stored here. So just move this one. Simply right click, move to folder. Which folder? So let's call it target. So it got moved. Now you view the data. Yeah, now I have the volcano information as well as the tour information. See, it is Kilimanjaro. It's in Tanzania, Africa. This is height. This is stratovolcano. Okay, like this. So we made a join here. Okay, let's go to the other transformations. And one more thing also, table loader for expressions. So actually, just now we discussed about the table loader, right? Task 1, task 2. So we can even use this table loader for expressions also. Okay, for making expressions or for creating the expressions. I will show what is the expression here. Expression building. Okay. Which one is good? Okay, let's take the demographic. User data. No much data is available. Orders. Let us employ. Also, it's very small. Okay, let us register a table then. Register a table from SAS source library. Here I have multiple tables. Let's take this classes. Next, finish. Class SP, open this. Yeah, okay, let's see, we have some information here, right? Name of the student, their sex, age, height and weight. Now, I want to find out the BMI, body mass index, okay? So to find out the body mass index, we should create one variable, okay? Means in the target, not in the source. In the target, I want to create a new variable and I have to define an expression to that one, right? So okay, let's keep this as a source and you create one target table. Right click, new table. So BMI of class SP. Class SP. Next. So store it in the target location. Then next, keep all the variables present in the class SP only. Yeah, select and we need BMI also here, which is not there. So we have to define our own column. Next, then here we have new. Click on new BMI. So what's the BMI? It's a numeric one because it's a calculated field, right? Numeric, and the length is 8, and yeah, that is fine. Go to the next, finish. Now I have a target also, right? See, go to the properties and check the columns. I have BMI also. Now we should load the data from this source to the target. Okay. Then create a new job here. Right click, new job. So it is just simply loading. We are not doing anything, just table loading. Okay. Table loader. Then where is the table loader transformation we have, but we need the source and target. Source is class SP. Then our target is class BMI. Then transformation, we need a table loader. That's it. Just load the data from source to target using this table loader. That's it. But how the data will be loaded here? If you run the transformation, what happens? The data present in the class SP will be loaded here. But the last variable which we defined will be empty only. How? See, now you go to the properties and check the mapping. So when you see the mapping, what happens? This is the target table called BMI. This is source table. Okay. So here I can see the mapping means 5 variable data got mapped with the 5 variables of the target. If you run it, the data will be loaded from these 5 variables to this 5 variable. And what about this BMI then? The data will not be loaded in the BMI because as there is no suitable variable, right? Then we have to define an expression. What? So usually to calculate the BMI, we need the height and weight information. So just connect the height as well as the weight also, right? But it is giving an error. Why? We are loading the height and weight. How you want to use this height and weight to load in the BMI? Means we have to make a expression. Okay. So here you should write the expression, advanced expression. So you write the expression here. How to calculate the BMI? Once again, actually there is one formula, right? To create to calculate the BMI, we have a formula. Let me browse this one. this one. 703 into weight. 703 into weight by height into height. Anyway, it is in lbs and inches only. See the data here. Will you see this? Okay. Yeah, actually the data is in this inches and lbs only. Okay. So this one, 703, or else you can do like this: BMI equal to weight into the same one, right? Weight into 703 by height into height. Okay. So BMI is you can simply write, or else you can select from here also. Weight into 703. Okay. Weight into 703 by height into height. By height into height. So you can validate the expression whether it is correct or not. Expression is valid. If expression is valid, then simply see it is showing no error here. Click on it. That's it. Run it. Complete successfully. Then you save this one first. Okay. Check the code. Yeah, this is the code. Weight into 703, height by height as BMI, right? Using the SQL, because it is also a data management task only. Then close it and then view the data. Yes, so this is the BMI we got. 69 weight, weight and height. 16 is the BMI. 15. But you know, here we got the multiple values, like we have to round up. Okay, round off, or else I mean, because you know we have a lot of decimal values, right? You just round them. So how to round them? You can write a pre-code also. I mean postcode, right? You write a postcode here. Okay, you make a function there. Okay, here in the table loader, we need to write one postcode, right? So simply go to the properties, and we have a postcode. What postcode you want to write? It's a BMI, right? The variable name is BMI. Okay. So what is your round, right? Round BMI, rounding the BMI, right? Or make two decimal values. Simply write it and then run it. So there is an error. Statement is not valid. So the one which you have written is not valid. Okay. So because once whenever you are creating, then we should not use this type of the function, right? I mean, you should mention the data set and other things. Okay, otherwise it won't work.
Also can define
Postcode data BMI underscore class SP set BMI underscore class SP, then BMI equal to run the BMI, then run. Okay, let's submit it and run it again. Data set that does not exist. Okay, it's not work library, right? It's in the target location. It's not in the work library. Target. Yeah, no warnings, no errors. Good. Then save it. Right click, open this. Yeah, now we have BMI. Okay, rounded BMI. Clear. Yeah. So this is how to make use of this table loader. Table loader means table to table only, but I define some expressions like that. Okay. I hope you got it. Uh, okay. Now let's create the reports. So normal basic reports we can create. Actually, this is not the tool designed to create the reports actually. Okay. Uh, just to know the information right about the tables, some basic reports we can create. Okay. Actually, this is not used to generate the reports actually. Okay. It is just to understand. Okay. The frequency and all those. Okay. Let's create a report using this transformation called one-way frequency. Yeah, we have different analysis. Okay, let's make a job again. New job frequency. Let's delete this because I will show the table layout then. Here, go to the tools, options. So you can see the table layout. Job editor, left to right or bottom to top, top to bottom. I'm selecting this top to bottom. Okay, before creating this job, we should select the layout. Okay, now right click, create a new job, that is frequency. Frequency. So this is the frequency. Then which frequency you want? Let's take this BMI. Target table I'm taking. Let's open this. Now I want to know the frequency of how many males and how many females are there, and how many males with 14 years, how many females with 14 years like that. So I want to know the frequency of these two, sex and age. Okay, 6 by age or age by 6. Anything is fine. Then go to the one-way frequency or two-way frequency. One way is just one variable. So let's find out the two-way frequency then. Now you can see the layout. It's top to bottom, right? Because we selected the layout frequency. So we are just creating a report only. We are not loading into a target, right? So we don't need any target location here. Okay. Then how do you want to generate this report and where you want to generate this report? So go to the same target location and create one folder here, or else create one more folder here as a reports, so that all the reports will be stored here in this reports location only. Reports. Okay. S drive reports. Then right click, go to the properties, then options. Which one you want actually? I want the frequency of sex by their age, right? So by statement, by their age. Okay. Then what else we want? We don't need anything. Then you can select the statistics also here. What type of statistics you want? Association and other things. Trend, all those. But I don't need anything. Just simply title. What title? Frequency of sex by age. You can give a footnote also. Created by cis user. So who is the cis user? can give their name, right? Later, ODS options. How do you want to generate the reports? Let's make a PDF file. Where is the location? It's in S drive. Reports. S drive reports. Then what name you want to give them? Let's give it as frequency report or frequency.pdf. Okay. Okay. Then we define everything. Then simply run it. Error is there. Apparent symbolic reference sys user not resolved. Actual sys user is not resolved actually. So there is a problem in the code. I mean the options. ODS options. Titles footnote, right? Okay. Remove this one. Ampersand sys user, correct only, right? Okay, let us see again. Run it. Same error. Sys user ID, right? Okay, let me do it again. Options. Sys user ID. No. Even that is okay. Yeah. Now it is not giving the system user ID. That is fine. So the problem is here. Actually, whenever you are using a by statement, just like in the base SAS, we haven't sorted, right? So we have to sort particular variable whenever you want to use the by statement. So that is the issue. We haven't sorted, right? The same content, right? Just like in the base SAS only. That's why if somebody want to use the DA Studio, they should have the understanding and good programming of the base SAS. Then only he will do. Otherwise, you will get a lot of bugs. So here we should use the by statement. Otherwise, it won't work. So remove this one. Then use the sort. Then we have a sort transformation. Data sort. Just connect it. Then analysis is frequency. Yeah. Then sort by which variable? By age, first of all. Okay. That's it. Automatically it will get loaded. Even the automations also we can delete. Automatical loading, automatic propagation, automatic mapping also we can delete them. Anyway, I will be discussing them in the later classes. And frequency, do the same way. Just mean frequency of the sex by their age. Then titles, frequency report or something. Then footnote created by sys user ID. ODS option is PDF. Then test drive reports. Then freak.pdf. Okay. Then run it. Completed successfully. No issues then. Okay. Now you can see the output here because yeah, male 100%, female cumulative percent is 100. By we created, right? Female to like this by age, right? So yeah, that's why it's taking by age 15, age 13.
Very good.
So like this. Okay, let's see there in the PDF then. Reports. Yeah, by age, right? So 11 years age, one male, one female. Then it's a 12 years age, female 2, male 3. 13 years age like this. Or else we define by age. Instead of age, you can define by sex also, right? Okay, let's change transformation here. You can select the sex also, right? Not only age, you can select both also, because once you sort, you can do both also, no problem. Then in the frequency options, instead of age, then by sex. That's it. Run it. Then obviously, it overwrites. We have a report. Now you can see female. 11 years 1, 12 years 2, 13 years 3, 14 years 2, 15 years 2, and male. Okay. This user ID is Ahmad. Then, okay. Yeah. So this is how to generate the frequency. In the same way, we should create the reports for this one also. Summary stats, summary tables, one-way frequency, distribution, correlation. Okay. So you want to do, or you want me to explain? If you want, you can do it. Okay. Distribution analysis. You take any example, or else you take the same one, new class new, and you try to work on it. Okay. So we just try to finish this. It is just simply distribution analysis, nothing but the uh, proc univariate. Okay. Distribution, right? Univariate. Summary stats. It's nothing but the proc means, right? Or proc summary. Then summary tables is the proc tabulate. Summary tables is the proc tabulate only, right? Then one-way frequency is just simply one-way frequency. Just try to do all these things. Okay. Just try to practice. If you have any issues in this analysis, I will explain, but it's not mandatory. This is just to find out. That's it. Because when you are making a huge transformation, or when you are planning to do the exploratory data analysis, then that time we need these basic things. Because if you have a character data or categorical type of data, then obviously we need to find out the frequency. Okay. So that is frequency, one-way frequency. If we have like numerical data or continuous data or any analytical data, so obviously we need to find out the summary statistics, right, to find out the outliers and other things. So that time anyway you will be using the distribution analysis. So you know the correlation also. If you want to find out the correlation between two variables, then we'll be using the correlation, right? So this is like the basic statistics here they define. If you want, you can add even more statistics also, but this tool is not meant for the analytical purpose, right? So that's why the basic things they have provided here. Okay, yeah, let's escape this one. You try to finish this. So tomorrow we'll do some other tasks. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow I think Monday, right? So Monday I need to go to office tomorrow. So we'll meet in the evening only. Okay. Yeah. Mm. Okay, I'm stopping here. Okay.